ഒരു മാസത്തിലധികമായുള്ള ആശുപത്രിവാസത്തിന് ശേഷം പോപ്പ് ഇന്ന് ചികിത്സ കഴിഞ്ഞ് ആശുപത്രി വിടുകയാണ്. അതിനു മുന്നോടിയായി ആശുപത്രിക്ക് മുന്നിൽ തടിച്ചുകൂടിയ വിശ്വാസികളെ അദ്ദേഹം ആശീർവദിക്കുകയാണ്. അദ്ദേഹം ജനങ്ങളെ അഭിസംബോധന ചെയ്യുന്ന തത്സമയ ദൃശ്യങ്ങളിലേക്ക്.
Message as it has customarily these past few weeks. And at the same time, there's great expectation here as you see people there with flowers and gathered to see the Pope after this long time, where the only appearance there's been is just a photograph that was released by the Holy See Press Office there of Pope Francis when he was in the chapel that's set up there, located on the 10th floor, where he was in prayer. And there have not been many images as well for the privacy of the Pope during this time of convalescence and serious illness to recover. At the same time, his voice was heard, actually, about 3 weeks ago when he sent a very brief greeting and message of thank you that was played out on in St. Peter's Square during the recitation of the Rosary. A rosary's been led there in St. Peter's Square and in the Paul VI Hall inside the Vatican practically every evening since the Pope's convalescence to pray for his good health and recovery. And the crowds there cheering Francis, as they await his appearance. And it's 12 o'clock, and the Pope's Sunday reflection has just been released. And in this reflection, Pope Francis writes, "Dear brothers and sisters, a happy Sunday to you." The parable in today's gospel tells us about the patience of God who urges us to make our life a time of conversion. Jesus uses the image of a barren fig tree, which has not borne the anticipated fruit, and which nevertheless the farmer does not want to cut down. He wants to fertilize it again, since it may bear fruit in the future. And the Pope writes, "And this patient farmer is the Lord, who works the soil of our lives with care and waits confidently for our return to him." And for our radio listeners, that applause is Pope Francis, who's waving. He's in a wheelchair at the balcony there, waving to the crowds below in his first public appearance since February 14th, apart from the photograph that was issued a week ago. And Pope Francis is greeting the crowds, waving to them and smiling. Now the microphone is being brought to him. I see a lady there with white or yellow flowers. Very nice. Pope Francis greeting a lady in particular who has these bright yellow flowers there as a tribute to him. Pope Francis waving to the crowds, giving a thumbs up as well, and a smile. His voice is weak, but that's quite understandable after all the respiratory therapy he's undergone with Pope Francis now blessing the crowd. He just made the sign of the cross. But the difficulty in speaking is understandable with all the respiratory therapy he's undergone, the double pneumonia that's and the bronchitis issues he's been dealing with in recovering from, with some quite serious moments in that recovery as well. The doctors yesterday, in following his care at the hospital, explained the care over the past 5 weeks and how this will require time for him to get his voice back after receiving the high-flow oxygen and also some mechanical respiratory assistance during the night to sleep. His prognosis and all has improved immensely, and hence he's going to be going home later today. And so, but in recovering the voice, an energy that will take at least a couple months of convalescence. That's what the doctors said yesterday, and a limited meeting of people and crowds to recover. And now, continuing on what Pope Francis had to say in his Angelus here, in his Sunday address, that is, the Pope continues in his written message, in this long period of my hospitalization, I've had the opportunity to experience the Lord's patience, which I also see reflected in the tireless care.
നീണ്ട 5 ആഴ്ചകൾക്ക് ശേഷമാണ് പോപ്പ് ഫ്രാൻസിസ് മാർപ്പാപ്പ ജനസമക്ഷം എത്തുന്നത്. ജമല്ലി ആശുപത്രിയിലെ ജനാലയ്ക്കരികിൽ എത്തിയാണ് അദ്ദേഹം ആശുപത്രിയുടെ അങ്കണത്തിലും പരിസരത്തും തടിച്ചുകൂടിയ വിശ്വാസി സമൂഹത്തെ അഭിസംബോധന ചെയ്തത്. അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ ദീർഘകാലമായി അദ്ദേഹത്തെ അലട്ടുന്ന ശ്വാസകോശ സംബന്ധമായ പ്രശ്നങ്ങളും അസുഖങ്ങളും മൂലം സംസാരം അത്രയധികം